Welcome to Weasel Digital, and welcome to So You Wanna Fly. This is an instructional series for rookie squadron pilots who are looking for a quick build and some quick advice on how best to fly their fighters in combat. Before we get to today's episode, let's take a word from our sponsor, Land O'Dunes Blue Butter. Land O'Dunes is a farmer-owned company from Tatooine whose mission is just to bring a little taste of Tatooine to every corner of the galaxy. Don't forget next time that you're chowing down on some polystarch portion bread that a little bit of Land O'Dunes Blue Butter will make it taste that much better. So with that, let's get right to it. Today we're looking at the TIE Fighter. The TIE Fighter is one of the notorious Imperial ships that's known galaxy-wide for being intimidating and deadly. The TIE LN fighter is an unforgettable symbol of the Imperial fleet. It's designed for high-speed dogfights against starfighters and is flexible enough to challenge enemy capital ships. We're going to be looking at three specific builds. Before we do that, let's look at our stats. Max hull 1550 is actually pretty darn high. I think it's third on the list, just barely behind the B-Wing, in fact. Max speed at 150 puts it third on the list. Max acceleration of 211, again, puts it third on the list. And maneuverability of 80 ties it at second with the Rebel Alliance A-Wing. That means this fighter is very capable in the right hands. Its one big downfall is that it has no shields. So it's a little bit limited in its survivability, but it has a large chunk of health to draw upon that'll really keep it in the fight for a good long time. So with that, let's look at our first build. Now, this build is going to be designed for dogfighting. That doesn't mean that you can only fly it in dogfights. It's built for dogfighting. It can still be used in fleet battles. It makes a great fighter for taking out enemy ships, taking out enemy fighters, and for defending your own capital ships. You can even throw in some extra damage on enemy capital ships with this, with the missiles and the blaster fire. But you mainly want to be targeting the AI fighters and the enemy players. For new beginner players, I would suggest sticking with the standard laser cannons. It provides you a consistent rate of fire. It makes it easy to track and lead targets. The burst weapon does a significantly larger portion of damage, but the limited amount of ammo and the way that it bursts makes it a little bit harder to track targets. So I would, for new players, suggest sticking with the standard laser cannon. Our left auxiliary is going to be our emergency repair system. Now, this repair system can heal a little bit less than half of your total health, so it is an important aspect to keeping your fighter alive through the long haul of the fight. For our right auxiliary, we are going to stick with the concussion missiles. Concussion missiles have a fairly quick lock-on time of 2 seconds, 1,000 damage, which is a significant hit, has a 6.5 second cooldown, which is pretty quick, and 6 ammo. With a median homing capability, this missile is very effective at fighter-to-fighter combat. For countermeasures, we're going to stick with the Seeker warheads. They are by far the best countermeasures available. Our hull is one area where we're going to make a change, though. And we're going to drop down to our dampener hull. This removes a little bit of health, but it also doubles enemy missile lock time. So when they're trying to get that lock on you to shoot a missile at you, this will make it that much harder and give you that much more time to evade them. For our engine, we're actually going to leave this as a standard twin-ion engine. So the only tweak we're making is the hull to the dampener hull. Now, our second option is also going to be for dogfighting and can be pretty effective yet in fleet battles. Primary weapon, again, we're going to stick with the standard laser cannon. Left auxiliary is going to be our repair system again. Right auxiliary, we're going to switch over to our ion missile. The ion missile locks faster at only 1 second, has the same ammo capacity of 6, has the same medium homing capabilities. Lock-on range is extended to 1,500 meters over the 1,000 on the concussion missile. But the cooldown is increased to 20 seconds, so you have a much longer wait time before you can fire off another one of these. Countermeasures, we're going to stick with the Seeker warheads. Hull is going to be the dampener hull again, and we are going to stick with the twin ion engines. The role of this build is to engage with a target, hit them with that ion missile. That'll strip their shields and disable their ship. They'll be floating dead in the water. At that point, it's time to strike at them, and you do so with your primary weapons, a standard laser cannon. Line them up, shoot them, just chew through all that health. They won't have a shield to protect them. You'll be able to kill them quick and easy. Then you can move on to your next target. From there, you're going to be sticking with your standard laser cannons for a little bit while you wait for those ion missiles to recharge. So those are our two dogfighting builds. Again, it's kind of your choice for flavor. Do you want to disable targets and then finish them off with your blasters? Or do you want to just go for straight up damage? Now our next build is going to be significantly different. You can stick with the standard laser cannons, or you could go with the burst cannon. That's fine. Also, for this one, you're not going to be fighting enemy fighters, so the burst cannon's an okay choice. Our left auxiliary is going to be our proton torpedo. And our right auxiliary is going to be our piercing torpedo. Now to take a look at those, our proton torpedo does 4,000 damage. It's very weak homing though, so it's very ineffective against enemy fighters. Lock-on time is 2 seconds, lock-on range is 1,500 meters, and you have to fire it before you get to 500 meters. Cooldown is 10 seconds, and you only have 2 shots with this. Your piercing torpedo does 2,000 damage, has a 1.3 second lock-on, has a 1,500 meter range with a 500 minimum range. Cooldown's only 8 seconds, and you have 3 shots with this. It's also weak homing, but this one's shield piercing. Now, this fighter is going to be built specifically for going after the MC-75. Our countermeasures is going to be Seeker warheads. Our hull, we can actually make a change here. You can go with the dampener hull. That's a perfectly good choice. It'll help keep those missiles off your back. But we're going to hope we don't draw too much attention while we're making our attack runs. So going with the reinforced hull isn't bad. If you do draw any attention, you're not going to be able to escape it, but you're going to have the health to just withstand the attacks. And since you're going to be making multiple passes on a capital ship, this will help keep you alive. With our engine, I would suggest going with the twin thrust engine for this build. This is going to increase our speed significantly while lowering our acceleration and maneuverability. Overall, you can see with our other ones, we only reduced our hull a little bit. This one has some significant changes. We add 930 hull, giving us almost 2,500 hull, which is significant. Your max speed is 195. So you're going to be going very quickly. Your acceleration and maneuverability are both severely hindered. So you're going to fly like a brick, but you're going to fly like a very fast brick. The entire point of this build is simply to strike at the MC-75. Do not use it at other times. It'll only hinder you. So with that, we'll show you some examples of some actual in-combat flight here to show you how best to utilize this. So this is our first TIE Fighter dogfighting build, and it's a very simple, straightforward combat technique.
Training at work.
You're going to engage your enemies. You're going to try to get locks with your concussion missiles. And you're just going to try to shoot things down while not getting shot down yourself. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too tricky. A very simple gameplay, very simple build. Now the second build we're looking at is the Ion build. You see, we pick a target, we launch our Ion missile. Once it makes contact, it will disable the ship and remove their shields, making them an extremely easy target for you to destroy in battle. Even if you're not able to destroy them, chances are one of your allies, or if you're in fleet battles, one of your capital ships will be able to finish them off for you. Last up is our MC-75 bomber. Now this one specifically, you want to be taking a nice long wide arc, coming in at the side and targeting the shield generators. Fly in until you get to 1500 meters, wait for your locks, fire your missiles. At this point you can fly past the MC-75 or you can turn around and fly away from it. Either way, you want to get out to about 2,000 meters before you turn back towards the ship and repeat the process targeting the shield generators again. You will get 2 full passes with penetrating missiles and your heavier missiles. You will get a 3rd run with just your penetrating missiles. At that point, your best hope is to simply target the shields or some other part of the ship and do damage with your blasters. The last item to discuss is the TIE's interesting power distribution system. As you can see, I'm running low on ammo, but a quick double tap to the X removes engine power and diverts it to weapons. This can power up and recharge your weapon systems, or if your charge is 2 weapons, you can actually divert it to engines. I find, due to the superior flight capabilities of the TIE Fighter, that it's best to keep your power to engines, diverting it to weapons when necessary. And with that demonstration, I hope that you feel a little more comfortable with the TIE Fighter. I hope that I've given you a couple solid builds that you can use to help your team out to the best of your ability. Good luck flying. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.